So I started thinking about the Hopi prophecy and my dog's name being Hopi. And, shit, there's nowhere really to put my phone. But slavery as a concept, right? Like there's a whole journey that one individual and collective goes through, almost like tarot. It's a 1 through 10 cycle, 1 through 9. So the Hopi refusing to budge on their integrity and being chained together, enslaved to build road and use outhouses together. You know, there's 6 of them chained. If one has to use the bathroom, they all use the bathroom. Like this shame that's ingrained in them. And I'm thinking to myself, when I thought about being chained to 5 other people and using the restroom, I can imagine multiple ways it would go. Like times where you turn against each other because obviously the stress. But if you're really fighting for God, then let's say you could take it to any other culture in the US that we known, that has been documented to have slaves. From it comes spirit. From it comes a lineage that has power, and song and dance always comes from it. So these are key things in every culture that has ever had a story of slavery. They create their own song and dance and power. They allow it to empower them. So in the moment that the white man has their roads built by the Hopi, they may think similar to my own family, right? Like it's the concept of being exiled, really, and not being created equal in God's eyes by your fellow man, and their power and technology or finances allowing them to cause brutality onto you and pain onto your people. And that could just be me and my dog. Like that concept applies to anybody. And in government system oppressing people, everybody can align with abandonment, exile, being left out in the cold, homelessness, being broke, like all these things, you know, not being cared for, not being treated as equal. People seeing your pain and not caring. Like in the moment when you have nothing else to do, like imagine yourself being chained up. You can't kill yourself. You can't void out with drugs. All you have is your mind. And you can allow it to suffer the entire time. Or you can empower. And so from that comes, you know, everybody knows anywhere there was bloodshed in the US over native land, it's haunted, right? Like, and not to everybody. Like, I'm in South Dakota right now. I'm very attracted to the Sioux Falls. I feel that I have history there, but I'm not frightened of it, you know, even though I'm white, because my spirit is one of God's children. So back to the Hopi prophecy, that is what it's about. And so the arguments that go on in the public of my people were more oppressed, your people were more oppressed, I find that as completely foolishness. Like, how do I say it? Like, the more oppressed you are, the more powerful you should be. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So you give your power away to cry and complain. And the Hopi did not do that. The Hopi did not sign those papers to give the people their rights away. They did not give over their property, their land, their culture, their family. They died for it. They suffered for it. And they believed in it. And they had spirit in it. And so it doesn't really matter ever the complexion of your skin. Real recognize real. And you can be somebody who has been self-enslaved or enslaved by others, and you still have the same understanding of self-empowerment and the transmutation of dark to light. We have that power. We are made in God's image. We are those magicians, and that's exactly what those tribes are doing. That's exactly what was being killed and brainwashed out of them, and that's what's been brainwashed out of us. So who really are we? Who are we arguing for? Like this concept of like white privilege, and I kind of feel like it's dead. But when I do watch like modern TV, it seems like all these dumbass belief systems are still happening. That is such a waste of time and energy, and such a discrediting to God. Nothing is good or bad. It's up to you. It's up to the individual to make it that. It's up to the culture and the people to make it that. The longer that we continue to self-enslave, the longer that we will cry. Sorrow, this wailing of unfortune and disconnect. It's just them crying out to themselves because they know no one's listening. So empower yourself, because think about the Hopi. Have you ever, I'm driving right now through, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota. Those areas are fucking desolate, okay? And these tribes don't bitch. Like back in the day, they were not bitching. You know why? Because they had respect and integrity, and from that, gifts were given. When you contact any of God's creations with love, you are okay. And I feel that those tribes had a beauty to them that the white man wanted to remove so that they could be our God. They were not just the God of the natives. This was a long form plan. This has been a fighting over land that is a very small percentage of the white or whatever. It doesn't matter who. It's a small percentage of people. And there's a large percentage of us. And in this large percentage of us, we're all equal. We're all equal. So the longer that we allow ourselves to push the narrative that we are divided and oppressing one another, the longer that we are allowing our oppressors to succeed. It is called conquer and divide for a reason. So just think about it. The same person that you got in your last political or social argument with, imagine yourself being dropped in the middle of, I don't know, exit 0 from Idaho to Montana on the steepest incline in December. Okay? If you were with that person, you wouldn't be talking about politics anymore, would you? Okay? The world is happening that fast. Things are happening that quickly. So start putting yourself in that mindset. If that was your cellie and you got put in prison with them, you might not be so loud with your mouth, because that is an ally to you now, because survival is what's significant. And we don't put ourselves in situations where we are able to get that bigger view. So we stay small because we live in a small box, an apartment, a room, a computer desk. Go out, see how vast things are, and then understand that you would appreciate help from anybody, and you'd be willing to help anybody after receiving help when you really needed it. And that's what it is like to be a part of a tribe. We can still recreate tribes. We don't have to deny the technology that has advanced. We can be tribal in the way that we respect one another, and the way that we have, just integrity and our own self-governing system that we counsel, not people telling us what's best for us. So I don't know, food for thought, self-empowerment.